cool. Let me, I'm going to pull up real quick the Facebook for the real estate resource because it's
hey everyone
in there now too.
Just want to say hello. My name's Gary. I'm here with Kayla. We are live on the Real Estate Resource Facebook group live, and we are also here on a Zoom conference call. And Kayla, I just want to say hello and thanks for joining me. And I think we're going to have a great 30 or 40 minutes or so to share some great info and talk about some things that you're doing, some things that I've done, and ultimately some things that you listening to us can do to very quickly change the trajectory of your real estate career, like I've done for myself and for Kayla and a few other people. Not to toot my horn, because it's really not me, it's the system. And we're just going to share the system and talk about how you can take advantage of it. So my name's Gary Allen. I'm a realtor in Las Vegas, Nevada. I've been a realtor for about 5 years. About a year into becoming a realtor, I found this system and I really started to take advantage of it. And then I just became kind of a fervent acolyte for the system. I share it with people because it's so powerful and it has such a great effect and so duplicatable that, here's what it really comes down to, guys. Real estate, it's all about people. It's all about building and nurturing relationships. And the better you are at doing that, the more money you're going to make in real estate and the better lifestyle you're going to have and the more choice you're going to have with dealing with the clients that really you want to deal with versus maybe some clients that you don't want to. When you start to get your lead generation down, you start to have control of your future, and it gives you just a lot more quality of a business and a life. So that's a little bit about myself. Kayla, why don't you talk a little bit?
So I am a realtor in Northern Colorado, Fort Collins, Denver area. And, I'm about 3.5, 4 years into this business. And the reason that we're here today is because I really kind of honed in on a system that is working in terms of lead gen and follow-up. So, what we really talk about at Family Reunion and all of the Keller Williams events and Bold, the fortunes in the follow-up. And, but you still have to feed your pipeline and be adding people to your database every single day. And so what I've really focused on building is a company that's built on gratitude for our current and past clients. And then also a company that goes out and prospects by getting my face in front of people, or at least showing them something that not everyone else is doing. We all cold call all the time, and that's great. But, when you pair certain types of lead gen together, I think that makes the biggest difference. And that was how I went from 5 deals to 15 deals. And then in a really bad year, I managed to continue do 15 deals, but I upped my gross commission by 30%, with the same number of deals from the year before. So the first year using the system, I tripled my number of deals, and then I added 30% commission on top of that for my third year using it, or third year in real estate, which was my second year using this system. So, it's been a super fun ride, and, we've got a couple people in here. We've probably got a couple people on Facebook too. So let's just get started answering some questions. Gary's going to guide this kind of questionnaire webinar thing. And we'll see what we can do to help you guys. If you have any questions throughout, please put them in the chat box. We want to be interactive. Tell us how many years you've been in the business and maybe what your favorite type of lead gen is. And we'll try to chat with you guys and make this really personal since there's not a ton of you.
That's great, Kayla. Well, as I said earlier, you have taken this system that I learned about 4 years ago, and you learned about it, I guess, about 2 years ago. And that's ballparkish. And you started just really working it very hard. Started going after the expired markets. I think that's kind of your niche market that you love. And tell us when you first started. Guys, what I'm going to do is very quickly is I'm going to explain what we're talking about, and then I'm going to hand it back over to Kayla, and then we're going to kind of go back and forth here. So here's the thing. We're talking about a system called Send Out Cards. Send Out Cards is a system where you can create a physical greeting card off of your smartphone or off of your laptop in a matter of a minute and add pictures to it, make it highly personable, and add a gift or not, and put some words of kindness in there. and hit send, and it'll print tonight and go out in tomorrow's first class mail. Your recipients get it 2 to 5 days later, depending on where they live. And the thing about this is, remember, I talked about relationships being so important in real estate. That's really what it's all about. And it just makes sense if you have a tool that you can love on your network. Because here's the thing, guys, everyone posts their lives on Facebook, the things that they love, the things that they're most proud about, the things that touch their heart. Yesterday, someone posted, a realtor posted that his puppy died. He was a few years old. And I took that picture and I put it I spanned it on the inside of a card. If you can imagine, well, it's actually something kind of like this. And I just had a little note there saying, that, the dog's kind of saying, thank you for being so good to me. And that on the back of the card, I found a picture on Google Images of a dog-shaped cloud. And the picture says, I'll meet you at the Rainbow Bridge. Just these little touches. I sent that card to them. I'm fully expecting to get a call from that person because of doing something besides a like or a post on Facebook. This is something they're going to receive in their hands, in their mailbox. It cuts through all the electronic clutter and noise that's out there. It bypasses their brain and frankly goes right to their heart, because he posted that picture of his dog that he loved that passed away. And, if you do this consistently with your network, what ends up happening is they start to realize that you are connecting with them on a much deeper level than a like or a comment. You kind of go from out here in the ether where all these other realtors are at, where you're at, frankly, with all these other realtors, and you start to go to top of head, top of mind, and then ultimately to top of heart. And top of heart is where the referral machine is at. That's where they go to work for you because, frankly, they love you and they think you're just the greatest person in the world. And Kayla has done that very effectively, using this system to go after her sphere of influence, her network. She's also done it to go after her expired. So let's talk a little bit, Kayla, about how you use this for your expireds, and then we'll talk about a few other things as well.
Okay, so guys, the way that I use this for my expireds, so Send Out Cards is a program where you can build a card or build a campaign of cards. So like 5 or 6 that go out over a month or 2 months or even the year. You can build those and you can set it and forget it. And so what I love, what I started doing with my expireds and my for sale by owners was when they popped up in my system, so the first day they expired or the first day they went on the market for sale by owner, I would send them, I would process them through my system, and they would essentially get a card with a picture of their house on it 2 days later. Like, it is so fast. And they'd be like, what the heck? And then they'd get another card a week later, and another card a week later, and another card a week later. And by the time they're getting the second, third, and fourth cards, which I send between 4 and 5, through my campaign, by the time they're getting that card, they're going, this girl knows marketing. And if we're going to hire someone new because our house just came off the market, or we're going to actually pay someone to, to sell our house, we want someone who knows how to catch people's attention, right? And so what ended up happening was I was going through Bold and I was cold calling people, but I was also sending out cards. And I started getting calls back. And it wasn't just like a, oh, hey, stop calling me, call back. It was like a, oh, hey, we got your cards and we're interested in talking with you about selling our house. When can you come over? And for me, that was kind of the aha moment. My original test was a 30-day test. Every morning, first thing in the morning, I would process all of these people through, which sometimes it's only 3 or 4 people. It's not a ton of sellers on the market in our area, and certainly very few that are expiring. And so I'd process those through, and then I'd start cold calling. And by the time, a lot of people, same thing with cold calling, you get the typical responses. With the people, I kept calling the people who were getting my cards, and I made sure that I was calling them specifically until I talked to them. So I kept them in a certain bucket, and once I talked to them, they went into a different bucket, but I knew they were getting my cards. And what happens is you can say, hey, they answer the phone, hey, this is Kayla. I think you probably got a card or 2 from me in the mail. do you have a minute to chat? And the response is so different. Like, people go, oh yeah, I know your face. They don't yell at you. They stopped being mean. I had one guy, it was $1 million listing. And to be honest, I was so new to real estate at the time, I'm not even sure that I could have sold it, because it included like an airport and a farm. Like, it was crazy. Totally out of my wheelhouse, but it would have been fun. But anyways, when I called him, he was like, oh, you're the one who sent me brownies, right? And I was like, yeah, that was me. And he's like, oh, well, I can't say no to baked goods. When do you want to come over and talk about my house? Like, it's those types of things where you're really changing the game. And so what happened was, when I first started using send out cards and cold calling, my average price point was in the low 300s, maybe high 200s. And the people who started responding to my marketing, their houses were in the, 4 to 700 range. Those were my kind of targeted people. And the people who responded have higher priced houses. So over the course of the next year, my average commission went up by 30%, because I nearly doubled the average price point of my listings, which was fantastic. That was a very unforeseen benefit of what I was doing. And so, basically what I did is I just set up some cards, and there actually are samples. I put the link to the Facebook group in the chat. So if you just go to the real estate resource and you join our group, I'll approve you as soon as we're done here if you're not in it. But you can see the samples, like the exact cards that I was sending to people. I got a couple that came back to me, and so I just posted pictures of those. And then, so that's one of the areas that I've had massive success in getting listings. So not necessarily buyers, but getting listings from using send out cards and cold calling, and combining the two and actually getting people to respond to me.
Take a look at this, Kayla. This is just a quick example, right? This is called a photo drop card, where you can just drop a photo in from Facebook, and it's got a little frame around it. And then you can also, you can span pictures across the inside of the card. Isn't that impressive? And then you can have your branding on the back of the card, however you want to set it up. And so these are very high quality cards, full color. And I think, Kayla, don't you, on your campaign, the first card that goes out, you have a picture of the house. Is that right?
Yes. I don't have one right in front of me, because that's weird. But yeah, so like typically on here, it's just the picture of their house. And if they're for sale by owner, I'll take a snapshot, like a screenshot of their Zillow ad, and I'll just post that right there. And that way, when they get it, they're like, holy crap, that's my house. This is super personal. They're almost inclined to call me and be like, how did you get a picture of our house? And it's like, well, it's on Zillow. So there. Or, if it was listed by another agent, Zillow is public domain, going on to Zillow.com. So you can go on, and that's the best way for me to use it, honestly, is just take a picture of this, like a screenshot of the Zillow posting. So it probably says Zillow in the top, and then it's got all the information in the bottom. It's got a picture of their house and their address. So it is incredibly personalized to them. And that's the first card that they receive from me. It's either a picture of their house or a picture of Zillow with their house on it. So it creates a different impression than just a standard, regular, like the gaudy, like I kind of like this one, but like the standard gaudy postcards, there's some that are just pass, please. I see them and it's just like, where is your style? There's no style. How are you going to market my house? It's going to be exactly the same.
Yeah.
So
I've also found that I've taken pictures off of Google Maps, and I put that on a card and sent it to myself just to make sure it was good quality, and it's fine quality. So maybe not as good as if you took the picture yourself or off of Zillow, but it is definitely not something that someone goes, oh, that doesn't look good at all.
Right.
And so the first card you go out, you send out a 4-card campaign over 3 weeks to target expireds. The first card has a picture of their home. You may add a couple brownies on there if the price point is high enough. And you've been doing this for over a year. Tell me a little bit about your rate of return. How much have you spent and how much have you brought back in?
So I don't know exactly how much I've spent, and I don't know exactly how much I've brought back in, but what I do know is I know my ROI. And as of not too long ago, the last time I calculated it, it was $66 for every single dollar that I spent. And so when I'm calculating that out, it's every dollar that, I've either closed or have signed. And so I recalculated at the end of the year to say, okay, what actually closed, to get an actual picture of the ROI. But what it looks like typically is for every single dollar that I spend, every card that I send, which is typically $1 per card, I'll get $66 back through closed commission.
Which is
and
huge.
That's pretty fantastic. Hi, Wendy. And then we've got Kara and Helen on Facebook Live. So hi, guys. Kara uses this as well, and she always makes me laugh. We've become really good friends over this. She says that her superpower is making people cry through sending cards. And I actually have right in front of me a card that you sent me. I keep it in front of me every single day because it's got so much motivation on here, and I just love it.
I love that superpower.
Right? It's a good superpower. But really, like, this whole system can be diversified and help you run your business the way that you want to. And so one of the things, the reason y'all kind of, the ones who are here on the Zoom call, y'all saw this card that I posted on Facebook. And what I did, actually, it was, where's the condo? Here's the condo. It was this one. And so what I did was, this was for an open house that we were hosting, and we actually had, it was about 500 people in the complex, and about half of them were owner occupants and half of them were were tenant occupied. So we sent it to the landlords, and what ended up happening was we got 3 calls on the cards just from one go around, and then we got 7 people through this specific open house who came in with the card in their hand.
Jeez.
So they had it, and they said, hey, this is really great. I'm thinking about selling. So the way that I look at open houses is it's a fantastic tool to get buyers. I look at it as a way to impress potential sellers. So I put out like 50 open house signs. I get a ton of feedback. We just have really professional, like, please take off your shoes signs. We've got everything set up really well. And then the marketing beforehand. And most people, here's my problem with most other marketing forms. When I schedule something to go out, it is a 2-week process. Like, for example, there is a company that starts with a C and ends with a fact. And it takes at least a week for them to process it and then send it out. And I will tell you, I have never received a copy of my own that wasn't smudged to high hell. Like, it looked horrible. And that's because they're all just the postcards that go through printing so fast that they just have to smudge. But what I love about this, I might not get that, like, tracking feature that CFact does, but these, I don't need a tracking feature because people are going to call me. And it makes a huge difference. Like, from that listing, I have 7 potential listings. So people who are interested in selling in the next 6 months who've called me, we've met, and they weren't quite ready. They were just starting to think about it, but now I'm their realtor of choice because of this. And so it really doesn't take that long. And then this one, we just closed it, and I'm going to do a screen share on this real quick because it's pretty neat. It's going to go to the real estate resource real quick. But I designed these in Canva, and so I had sent out another invitation, which we had 45 people through that open house in like no time. It was
amazing.
My seller, bless her heart, she stayed because she's in her 80s. And I think we nearly gave her a heart attack because so many people were in her home. I felt horrible. I thought she was leaving. She didn't tell me she was staying until 15 minutes after it started. But anyway, so here is one of the cards. So it's the exact same card, but it's going to be a big card. and I haven't gotten any back yet, so I'm waiting for those to come in.
When you say big, how big are you talking about?
They are the size of a sheet of paper, but for each, so like this size for just this panel that you're seeing.
Yeah.
So it's 8.5 by 11. So they're huge. They're 11 by 17 on the inside. And this is what it looks like. You know, we had multiple offers for this home. It sold for over asking price. And they get to see the quality of the photos. They get to see the quality of my marketing. You know, live in this area, give me a call. That's what I want them to remember. And then I want them to see my face. I want them to see my team name, Keller Williams, all that sort of jazz. And so those went out. And because we just closed on the 6th, and so those are probably getting delivered yesterday and today. So I just need to check my mail, really.
Incredible work, Kayla. That's really good work.
Yeah, and then so those, you know, I expect a couple of the people who came to our open house who saw it. I expect those people to come through. Stop sharing there. I expect those people to come back through and give me a call when they say, oh, hey, it sold for over asking price. What did it actually sell for? Well, you're going to have to call me for that information. So that's kind of why I do those things the way that I do, is that I don't give them so much information that they can just look it up. I want them to have to call me and say, oh, okay. Christina, yes. So the condo was listed. I had a condo that was listed in the complex. And then I did an open house on that condo the first weekend that it went on the market. And we sent out those cards, these ones, to like 500 people. And it was just everyone that was in the complex. And it's in like the heart of Denver. So I wanted to make sure that's a great area. I mean, that condo sold for $230, which is pretty low price point for us. But, you know, if I get 7 people at $230,000, I can't even do that math. It's like $1.6 million in sales. So that's fantastic. The cards in Canva. So you don't pay for the cards in Canva. You just use Canva to design your marketing. The cards that I pay for, because I am on, I think Gary's going to bring up the pricing here. So I pay $1 a card for the regular, just, you know, 1 panel items there, just a regular sized, regular greeting card, essentially. So I pay $1 a card plus shipping. So it's, I think, $1.57. And that's it. And that's because I've been in it for a while. So I've got, you know, an elite package that you can pay for. You just basically prepay for all the cards and then it reduces your cost. But you don't have to, you can test it out. It's a slightly higher price point while you're testing it, but it's pretty fantastic in how it works. And if you go to my page on Send Out Cards, you can send yourself a couple just to test and see what it looks like. So like, feel free to log into, to go into mine, which I think is sendoutcards.com/bebold. And you can send a card. It's super cool. And send it to yourself. Like, you should see the product for sure, because it is high quality.
I lost that page somewhere, so sorry about that.
That's okay. And there is a monthly subscription to it, but it's not like some of the other things where you have to pay every single month and then you're locked into a year contract. It's monthly. You can cancel before your end of each month. It's super easy, and they have a lot of different packages that makes it affordable.
Talk about those. I want to talk about 2 things.
Okay.
I want to talk about the 3 different types of cards that you can send, because that will make sense when I go over the pricing as well. So there's a heartfelt card. This is a card that is really the powers of Send Out Cards, is sending a card, a single card from you to one person. A heartfelt card that maybe you find something like their dog passed away. They got a new car. They went on vacation. You just find stuff on Facebook that you can celebrate your network and put a picture on the card, put a nice message in there, hit send, add a gift or not. But when you hit send, that card is a heartfelt card, and you can, under a couple of plans, which I'll go over very briefly here in a moment, you can send unlimited heartfelt cards, including postage. So that's really a cool part of the program. Then we have a groups card set.
one second. So when he says unlimited, he means free. So like when I pay for my $157 or $147 plan, I make a goal to send at least 5 heartfelt cards a day. So I go on my Facebook and I find people who are celebrating something and I say, hey, I don't have your address. I just wanted to send you something. And if they give it, most of the time they give it to me. Like 2 people have ever said no. And I get their address, which I can then add into my database, which Command is very happy about. And I can send it and it's free. So I can put their picture, like say their kid just won at a baseball game, put their kid's final winning picture on that card and say, frame this and send it to them. And it takes me less than a minute to do, and it's free because I have, I have the enterprise plan. You don't have to have that. You can do the premium too to get the free cards. But
there's 4 basic types of plans. There's an enterprise plan that's $147 per month. Now, you may think that's a lot of money for sending cards, but it's really not about sending cards. It's about relationship marketing. And here's the thing. If you look at what I'm going to highlight, you get unlimited, heartfelt, single card sends, including stamps. So I send out about 10 cards a day. Half of them are birthday cards, people that I find on Facebook, my friends that are having birthdays. I go a little bit in advance so the card gets to them around their birthday. And I do that every day. I'll probably send out 3 to 5 birthday cards a day. And then I also will send out cards and things that I see on Facebook. Again, the picture of the gentleman holding his dog that passed away, or a picture of someone that went on vacation that posted some pictures. Whatever it is, I can very easily send out 10 cards a day. And the reason I do this is I don't worry about the price, because I am sending out basically cards for free as long as I'm on the subscription. And that's the powerful tool of send out cards, because you want to get the message out to your network and you want to touch them 10, 12 times a year, sometimes by an email, sometimes by a text. But I would say most of the time you really want to touch them with a card, because it has pictures on it and it's a moment that they posted on Facebook that you're giving back to them. All right, so the enterprise package, unlimited heartfelt single cards. Now, if you send off a group or a scheduled card, these are cards that, you were talking about, Kayla, you sent off a group card, one card that went off to many people, like 500 cards. So you created one card, you sent it off to 500 people in your condo complex. That's a group send. And then we also have scheduled cards. These are the campaigns that you do where you send out 4 cards over 3 or 4 weeks, where you have set up the card and you've set up the days that you want them to go out, and it's all related to the first card. It'll go out 7 days later or 11 days later, however, for the remaining cards. So these cards here, the unlimited heartfelt cards, you can send unlimited of those. But if you send out a group or a scheduled card, those are going to be $1.75 per card, and we can show you how to lower that price. You do get a 30% discount on gifts. We have gifts anywhere from $2 to $200. Anything for the home, family, children, pets. I mean, just hundreds and hundreds of gifts. Gift cards for like Starbucks and American Express, which are great closing cards, closing gift cards. All right, so it includes all card types. There's 5 different types of cards. You can send a postcard, a 2-panel card. You can send a 2-panel card like this. You can send a 3-panel card that actually has another panel on it. You can send a 8x10 card. Or you can send what we call a flat card, which is a 5x7 card inside an envelope. All those cards are free with the exception of the big card. The big card is going to be $1.50 upcharge for that card. So those are the 5 different types of cards. With the enterprise program, you get 100 group sends per month. So let's say that you have a listing that you want to send off to 100 neighbors. You can send that off included in the enterprise. Now, you will pay the $55 of postage. That's 100 cards times 55 cents per card. But you do get the 100 cards as part of the enterprise package. You do get all the storage needs that you need. You do get loyalty rewards. That's 10 group send cards per month. When you're part of the premium or the enterprise package, you get 10 group send cards per month, and those roll over for 12 months. So at the end of a year, you'd have an additional 120 cards to send out. So the only thing that differentiates the enterprise from the premium is everything's the same on the premium and the enterprise, with the exception of on the premium, you do not get the 100 free group send cards. You do get the most powerful part, I think, of send out cards, which is the unlimited heartfelt single cards, the love on your network, the love on your sphere of influence. You send out use Facebook to really supercharge your cards. I go into people's homes months after I've sent them a card, and my card is on the refrigerator or on their credenza, on their desk. It really is very sticky. It stays with them a long time. You also get the $1.75 group and schedule cards, 30% discount on gifts. Includes all card types. You do get the premium storage and the loyalty reward. So these are the two plans that I would recommend for a realtor. And the reason is that if you're down here on the $17 a month plan, you're going to pay $2.25 per card. And every time you send a card, you're going to say, oh, that's $2.80 with the stamp, $2.80, $2.80. Over here, just pay the subscription price and blow the cards out the door, send 10, 15 cards a day. You can do that. And as long as you don't duplicate cards or a copy and paste, they do have a fair use policy. So as long as it's an individual card sent off to one person, you can send 10, 20, 30 cards a day for $97 or $147 a month. Go ahead, Kayla.
Yeah, all I would want to add to that is, if you're going to sign up for the premium or the enterprise, time block, I know we all say this, time block your usage. So if you spend, and this is a great way to start the day, spend 5 minutes on Facebook finding 5 cards to send. So, when you like someone's post and it's a family moment, ask them for their address and then, go through and send those 5 cards. So make sure that you're sending those 5 cards a day and you're going to get the value out of it. And when I say you're going to get the value out of it, I sent an anniversary gift to a client of mine, and they didn't receive anything from their kids. It was their 40th anniversary. They hadn't even received something from their kids. I sent them a box of chocolates because I love sending the gifts through here. And they were like, hey, we have a townhouse that we probably need to sell anyways. Do you want to list that for us too? So I already have a $700,000 listing with them from send out cards because they got my expired card. And then because I showed appreciation to them just a month later without, the thought of earning more business because I didn't even know, they gave me a $300,000 condo in Greeley that needed to be sold as well. And then I've also sent cards to people when they get married, say, hey, congratulations on your wedding. Here's dinner on me or something like that. Enjoy your honeymoon, something like $25 gift card to send to their honeymoon, spend on their honeymoon. And I've gotten thank you cards back from those with hey, thank you so much for the gift card. It, bought us dinner or part of our, it bought our wine at one of our meals on our honeymoon, and I've already given your name to my sister. She's looking to buy in the next 6 months. And that's in a thank you card, a handwritten thank you card that I'm receiving after sending them a card that took me a minute to put together. So really those heartfelt cards, the beautiful thing about this system is you can do it to prospect people that you don't know. Because let's be real, the do not call list kind of sucks, and most people are on it these days. But you can also use it to love on your sphere. And so what I do is I do both. My main focus is loving on my sphere now that I've had enough clients to actually have a business that can grow from just my sphere. So, my main focus is the single heartfelt card sends, but I also do the prospecting still because it works so well. And then what Gary's about to show you here, the Elite and the Elite Plus cards, these are what I have that bring the price down so much for me. So when I'm saying it's $1.50 to send a card that's completely customized, I'm not kidding. It's because I use this Elite Plus add-on, and I purchased this once back in October, and it's $995 up front, but I already knew I was going to send at least 1,000 cards, especially the scheduled ones. So to me, that's not really it's almost pre-planning my budget, which was nice. And you get access to some of the campaigns they've built for us already. And you get, 12 months to use it, but you also get, if you use all of them in 12 months, you stay on that dollar a card, price until the end of the year. So it's really a fantastic.
If you're on the enterprise plan.
Yeah. So I'm on the enterprise plan and I'm on the Elite Plus.
Right. You use those 1,000 cards that the Elite Plus is for $9.95. It says 1,000 cards, but if you're on the enterprise plan and you run through those 1,000 cards, now think about this, guys. Let's say you run through those 1,000 cards in 2 months, which Caleb probably could do very easily, and you could as well, right? Well, you're still able to send card after card after card for 99.5 cents per card plus the 55-cent stamp. So about $1.54 or something like that, which is a crazy price to be able to send such a unique and powerful card. So the Elite Plus is an add-on package. We also have the Elite plan, which is $625 for 500 cards. So it's a little bit higher price point, but it might be easier to swallow at the beginning. And then when you get a deal that came from Send Out Cards, then you can upgrade. There also are a few other things that you can do. You can get your handwriting set up and your signature set up. So one of your fonts would be your actual handwriting. There's a form that you write out your ABCs, your 1, 2, 3s, your punctuation, and then there's 4 boxes down at the bottom of that page that you might sign your name, Mary or Mary Smith in printed or cursive. We've also got some other things that we won't go into at this point, but ultimately, guys, the powerful thing about this system is being able to send out cards to your network, to your sphere of influence that you're loving on your network. You're going after FSBOs and expireds in a powerful, effective, different way. Here's another idea. Kayla, I think you've done this a little bit. You find realtors in other markets and you start loving on them and they start sending you business. What about that? You've done
that. So that's one of the things that I did last year and this year. So, family reunion is probably one of my favorite times of the year because you get to meet so many other agents, right? Well, I take all their business cards and I put their mailing addresses into my Send Out Cards platform. And I have a campaign that I built it goes out like every 6 weeks. They get a card reminding them who I am and what area I work in. And so then they get to see my face again. We've already met, so that helps. And that has really helped grow my referral business and solidify my relationships with people,
What's the last deal that came from something like that? Do you recall?
Just a couple weeks ago. It is already June. In March, I got a lead from someone in Tallahassee who wants to sell. Their house will be going on the market here probably by the end of the summer. And it's a $400,000 house in Denver. So it's not like, they got my card and they're like, oh, hey, yeah, my family lives there. Will you help them? And so I've already had the appointment. They're already signed clients. Already have the referral agreement all set up through Kelly. And it's just, it becomes so much easier because they remember you. And that's probably one of the hardest things is like keeping top of mind when we have a couple 100,000 agents to choose from in just Keller Williams. Like if you imagine all the other companies out there, there's so many people to work with. And so it really solidifies those bonds. And the other thing, Gary, I do this with agents in my area. So when someone submits an offer on one of my listings, whether it's accepted or not, I send them a card. And so what I do is I'll send them, if it is accepted, I'll send them a, hey, can't wait to work with you card. Here's some brownies. And if it's not accepted, I'll say, hey, hopefully we can get to work together next time. I appreciate your time. And it's that simple, and it makes the deal so much easier when you come across as someone who wants to work together to get to the closing table, because that's really all that matters. And there are some agents out there, I'm sure we've all dealt with them, who just make it as hard as possible to get to the closing table because they just fight. And really, this takes the fight out of them when they see that you're so excited to work with them, you know? They just respond better to you overall. So there's, like, when I say that you can use this a million different ways, I'm really not kidding. And, you know, we had a couple questions going into more detail on the open houses. Just to recap that, I'll send these out to all, like, at least 250 of the closest neighbors. And they really are like an invite. They've got the date, the time. You're invited. People open them, they bring them in, and then they've got like a ton of photos on the inside and just a really short description and some information. And then on the back, I've got my branding. And so people show up and they actually show up with those. Now I also put out at least 25 signs, typically closer to 50. Even if I'm not typically allowed to, I'll still do it. Every single turn, make sure you sign it. Make sure you know, if you have trouble with it, print out a map and mark where you put how many signs. I've only ever lost 2. Have a really great sign-in sheet. That's so important, because if you don't have a great sign-in sheet, people aren't going to fill it out. And if you don't, like, also make sure that you fill out all of the information for a fake person beforehand, because monkey see, monkey do. I swear to God, they will just follow, like, oh, well, this person gave her all my information. It's probably safe. I can do that too.
That's brilliant.
And then I send, oh my gosh. And then guess what? After, if it's like a $500,000 house and they toured it and they had real interest in the property or had a property to sell, guess what they're getting from me after they leave? If they give me their first and last name and I know that they have a property to sell, oh, they're getting brownies and a thank you card with a picture of the house where we met on it. And then they'll probably get a follow-up card 3 to 6 weeks later saying, hey, how are things going? You know, can't wait to work with you. And do the same thing for your sellers. If you meet with them, send them brownies, send them a gift immediately after that meeting. Whether or not they signed with you, send them that gift, because if they sign with another agent and then they get your gift, guess what's going to happen? When that agent expires, you're the first one to get another call. When that agent screws up, you're going to be the first one to get a call. So there's just so many ways to use it. Like, I really cannot express that enough. I use it for everything. If there's a way to send a card or a reason to send a card, trust me, I do it.
Well, guys, here's a way that you can do this for free. Now, this may intrigue some of you. It may not, and that's totally fine. But we want to give you the opportunity to show you how you can have a system like this and not have it cost you anything. So both Kayla and I are affiliates with Send Out Cards. That means that we both pay a $59 a year fee to turn this into a profit center, because not only does this help us in our real estate business, but we're able to help other realtors and other business owners doing the same thing, and we get paid for it. And so we have a program called Paid For. So example, if you signed up with a $97 a month plan and you became an affiliate with Send Out Cards, all you need to do is sign up 4 other people at the same $97 a month plan, and now you're earning $97 a month in commission. Basically, your plan is free. Yep. And to make it even easier, you can just get people on Kayla's and I's webinar and let us do the heavy lifting, and then you touch bases with them. We'll always direct people to go back to the person that invited them, and now you're able to answer their questions, get them up and running. Of course, we'll help you with that as well. So just a brief way to be able to have a very, very powerful system and not only pay for it, but if you are focused on it and spend a little bit of time weekly on it, you can actually grow a very nice residual income, as both Kayla and I and many other people that I have shown this to are doing. So
absolutely. And one other thing that I've been kind of figuring out now that I kind of look at my statements a little bit more, Gary, we get paid a commission on what we send as well, right?
Yes.
We get paid 20%, I believe. So if you think about that, just let that ruminate. It costs $59 a year to be, and let me go back, a year. It costs $59 per year to be an affiliate, right? But if I'm sending like $10,000 worth of cards, which I bet I'm pretty close to, per year, even if I don't have other people in my downline, that is still $2,000 a year savings that comes back to me in my own commission. So that's one way to look at it, is like, okay, well, if I sign up and I spend at least, what's 60 times 5, 30, if I spend at least $300, right? Is that right? Yeah. Yeah, if I spend $300, 20% of that is $60, and that comes back to me. So I've already paid for my own affiliateship.
That's right. That's right.
So it's pretty cool. So that's another way to reduce your expenses, because if I'm spending $1 a card, or it's $1.57 or 55 or something. If I'm spending it, that's just easy numbers. If I'm spending $1 a card and I get 20 cents back, I'm really only spending 80 cents. Yeah. So that's nothing. It really, the math gets a little tricky, but it's that simple. Like, it's really not.
If it's something that intrigues you, that you think, you know what, I could really help people on my team or in my office or other agents, if you're well connected and have influence, you can turn this into a profit center. At a very minimum, you can break even, but you can also turn it into a profit center. So I don't want to overrun that too much. We can always talk about that. Let's go ahead and wrap up and say what we want you to do is go on to, if I invited you, you want to go to sendoutcards.com/go mobile and send a card for free. And by doing that, you'll set up the basic pay-as-you-go account so you can send cards in the future. It will be at a $3 price point rather than a lower price point. But go to sendoutcards.com/go mobile if I invited you. Kayla, if you invited people, you want to go to Kayla's website, which is
sendoutcards.com/be bold. I just put that in the chat for the webinar, so you can click on either of those links. And if someone else invited you, please, please, please go talk to them first and get their link. We really do try to respect that. But, you know, it's just such a cool system. And if you are friends with me on Facebook or Gary on Facebook, feel free to reach out to us. We mentor people all the time. We are constantly in the Real Estate Resource Facebook group looking to answer questions and help out. Are there any other final questions that anyone has before we kind of sign off here? I know Kara asked me if I time block a specific time in the morning to be able to process my cards. It's the first thing that I do in the morning, because for one, my goal is to show at least 5 people gratitude, which is a huge thing in bold anyways. Like, have your gratitude list, write down 5 things you're grateful for, right? Well, add on to that and share 5 things that you're grateful for with other people. Share why you're grateful for them. Even if it's just a super simple card, say, thinking of you, you know, I love everything you bring to my life, so grateful. That's so easy. It really changes the whole tone of your day when you start off with gratitude. So I always start off first thing in the morning. I'll actually do it while I'm working out. So I do 30 minutes of cardio on a bike, and I can sit on my phone and go through Facebook and ask people for their addresses. And then I can process all of those as soon as I either get to the office or before I get off the bike if they send them fast enough. But I have almost everyone's addresses now anyways, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Christina, your question about expireds. I do send them out weekly. So I process expireds when I'm going full bore prospecting. I process them every single day. So if there's only one, that one gets processed. When I process, when we get 10, I process all 10 of them, and I do it the day that they expire. So the second they show up on my hot sheet or on my MLS as expired, that is the first time that I process them. I plan for about a half hour every morning to check for those people and then process them. I've gotten to the point where I can send and process a seller who expired or a for sale by owner in 45 seconds once I've saved their photo. So I've got a whole system down. I'd be more than happy to kind of do like a speed race Facebook Live to see if I can show you how to do it that fast. And then after I'm done processing them is when I start calling them, and they really start responding to me probably the second or third week once they've seen my phone number a few times and once they've gotten a card or two from me. That's when it's kind of like, the money spot. They really respond. They say, hey, you know, we've gotten a couple of your cards. We've seen your face. You've called us a couple of times. Why don't you just come over and list our house? Like it has literally happened like that before. I'm not even joking, which is crazy. And then the website, the gifts. So let me do a screen share real quick and I'll kind of show you those. So here's our Facebook group, send out cards. So if I go to my card catalog. So let's say I'm gonna build let's just do a photo drop because those are pretty cool right now. So let's pick a bunch of people who just graduated. That's a great reason to send cards. So I'm gonna send this card, 2-panel standard, the big card. You can see all the upgrades there. Go into there and then it creates the card. Let's put me. I just graduated and got
congratulations.
Yay, I totally did. See, woo, it's great. And so there's my card and you can change the colors. So I like this gold. I'm a gold fan. Looks good with that backdrop there. And so then, you know, you walk through and it's got your custom back saved, so I can put whatever I want in there. Or it would be this one if I was doing my open house one. Click next, and it's created my card. And then let me give it a second. My computer's a little slow today. So you can see the price is 99 cents, but when I click send, it'll tell me that it's free. We're gonna send it to myself because I would like some brownies. I'm gonna send myself some brownies right now, actually. Why not? I have to hit enter. Okay, there I am, done. So if y'all wanna send me cards, you have my address now. It's spelled funny, but you know. And then this is kind of the overview. So if you wanna send like a series, you can add more cards and they all show up in this. Let me point to my computer screen so you can see it. You have your first card there, you have a second card, third, fourth, as many as you want in that line. So you can really design it. It's pretty cool.
Go ahead and add a gift there. Show how.
Yep. So then we go to add a gift down here. And these are all of the gifts that they have. So like these are Father's Day gifts that are coming up. We've got mini gift totes. That's pretty cool. Birthday stuff. There's some humor stuff. There's blankets. There's stuff for new babies. Don't Look Back. That's a great one. I just saw that. So then let's see. I want to do brownies, right? I definitely need to cheat on my diet. So we're going to add this gift at $3.98 for me, plus there'll be some shipping charges. And so price 99 cents, $3.98 to send that gift. Got my address in there, return address, blank card panels. Yeah, that's fine because it's to me. They've already got my
99 cents.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's literally showing that's free. And so I'm just sending myself the brownies plus the shipping. So it's like $10 to send a 2-pack of brownies to someone. So not bad if it's $1 million listing and you get $1 million listing, right? Yeah. That's pretty awesome.
That's for sure.
So that's exactly what I do. And that's how you find the gifts and you just add them on the back end of the card. Any other questions on these? If anyone wants to sign up or has questions or wants to test it out, just seeing if there's any other questions on the Facebook.
Send a free card. Go send a card to your husband, your boyfriend, your mom, yourself. Just send a card, see how easy it is to use, and then get a hold of the person that invited you and get your questions answered. And guys, we've gone over today briefly how to use Love on Your Network, how to use this to go after FSBOs, how to go after expireds, how to go after other realtors in other other cities so that they refer business to you, how to use this for open houses. I honestly cannot find a more powerful tool than send out cards. I would be amazed if you found something that was better. So what I challenge you to do is get started and find a new way to use send out cards beyond those 5 that we've talked about, because they are out there. There's just a powerful tool to put money in your pocket, guys. So I appreciate your time. Kayla, thank you so much for spending time with us and sharing your great wisdom and the success that you're having.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks, Gary, for being here. And if anyone has questions, just find me or Gary on Facebook. Reach out to anyone who invited you, and we'll just keep trucking along. If you have any questions, we're always here to help.
That's it. All right, everyone. Say goodbye now.
Bye.